Hi everyone, my name is Tanya. I'm going to be making a carrot cake with my twin sister today.
And she's a dietitian and a cordon bleu chef, and I know nothing about cooking, so I'm here to ask the stupid questions for your sake, and to see how she does it.
So what we've got is we've got a whole lot of ingredients. We've got sugar, we've got eggs, we've got oil, carrots obviously for the carrot cake, we've got apricots, we've got like mixed nuts and seeds. We've got almonds. You can use any types of nuts if you want. We've also got your flour, we've got baking soda, we've got baking powder, and then we've also got cinnamon and some salt. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we put everything together. It's very easy when you've got everything weighed out. I've used pretty much cup measurements to make it easy for you. And once we put it all together, we're obviously going to put it in the oven, have a cup of tea, a glass of wine, a beer, chill out for a little while, and then we'll make the rest of it with the icing and everything like that. Okay, so you ready?
What's the ingredients for the icing?
The ingredients we'll show you a little bit later on. We've got the cream cheese, we've got icing sugar, we've got a bit of vanilla essence, but they'll all be whipped up. You can use lemon if you want. A lemon can be quite nice, so we'll do that. Alright.
Right.
Just quickly, if you ever want to do carrot cake, this recipe can be pretty much changed. If you want to use gluten-free flour, a light fluffy type of flour, you can use it instead of normal flour, this type of cake. And then sometimes I'll maybe put a bit of courgette in and replace the courgette with the carrot to give it a slightly different flavor. And I'll add in sometimes my own dried fruit, or take out the dried fruit, add different nuts. If you've got a nut allergy, take out the nuts and replace it maybe with some pineapple. Some people use banana.
And what about seeds as a replacement for
Yeah,
nuts?
you can also do seeds, so pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Those are also very good options. I like to toast my seeds and my nuts. We've actually got roasted almonds over here, just because I think it adds some flavor to the dish. But you can have it plain if you actually want it. Alright.
Rad, let's go.
So we're going to go for it. So what I want to do is get Taryn's fantastic mixing skills, and she's going to mix the sugar, alright, with the oil, and it's around about 1.5 cups of oil to 1 3/4 cups of brown sugar. Taryn just needs to do that, and while she's doing that, I'm going to crack the eggs. Just 4, you could do large eggs, extra large eggs, into here, into your dish, and I'll just whisk it. Taryn can whisk it a little bit faster than that as well. Yeah, she can actually. Thanks, Taryn. Alright. So we mix it quite a bit until it's nice and thick and well beaten, and then I beat the eggs up. So,
are we waiting for the sugar to melt?
No, we're just going to mix it together, and then we're going to add in the eggs to this. Make sure the eggs are well
Not
beaten.
melt, you know, dissolve. I mean,
Dissolve, yes.
Is it going to dissolve?
It won't dissolve, no. Alright. So we just mix it nice and well.
I'm tired.
Okay, alright, let me do it. You can use a handheld beater. Some people put it in a handheld beater. A Kenwood mix for about a minute or two.
Thermomix.
A Thermomix, you can put it in a Thermomix. I don't really use a Thermomix much, but Taryn, it's made Taryn's life a lot easier. So, alright, so Taryn's going to keep beating while I add in the egg mix. So what we're going to do is just put in the eggs, mix it nice and well. Alright, and while she's beating it, I'm going to grab the dry ingredients. So I've got the
Gosh, this is hot work.
flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously sieve the flour, because it makes it nice, the cake nice and aerated. So I put all the dry ingredients together. So what I've done is about 1.5 cups of flour. I'm going to put a little bit of baking powder in, about 1 level, half a tablespoon of baking powder. And then your bicarb of soda, I'm going to be also doing 1 level, half a tablespoon, and then cinnamon. Obviously you can put cinnamon to taste. I'll put in around about 3 mils of cinnamon. But if you like a little bit more with that flavor coming through, you can add some more to it. So I'm just going to put in about 3 mils. How much am I supposed to do this? Keep going, Taryn. Keep going. You're doing such a good job. Alright. So I'm just going to sieve the flour. Okay. Some people sieve it about 3 times. I'm just going to be sieving it once. They just say the more you sieve it, the more aerated it is.
It is aerated, meaning it gives you a fluffy
It just gives it a fluffier cake. I just found that I'm usually limited with time, so I just try and do things that'll still give me a fantastic quality, but it'll be a lot quicker.
Okay.
Alright, so what we need to do is, do you have a wooden spoon?
Yes. One of the things you can do with a wooden spoon is you
Stop it!
Yeah, do you want it?
Oh, she's terrible. She's so mean to me. Okay.
She loves it.
Yeah, she loves it. You know what? Actually, before I need to do this, Taryn needs to crush the almonds and nuts. So she's just going to crush it, not too fine though. And I'm going to cut the apricots up a bit. So let me do that. So it'll be ready for the carrot cake when we start mixing everything together.
It's going to make a little bit of noise, but it'll be about 4 seconds. Or actually 2 seconds. No. 4. Not too fine, hey?
No, one nice and chunky.
Well, this is like half chunky, half fine.
Perfect. That's absolutely great.
Like that.
Okay, and then we're just going to also just have a quick, we're going to cut the mixed seeds and that up very briefly, because I find if the nuts are chunky, they're obviously going to sink to the bottom, but also at the same time they're not great when you cut in the cake and you're trying to get more of an even slice. Okay.
Yeah, some of it's chunky and some of it's
Cool,
not.
that's great, that's
Right.
exactly what we want. Alright, so what we're going to do now,
Check it out.
check it out again. We're going to add in the carrots and the flour, and then we're going to add in all the other, the fruit and the nuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in the flour. I'm going to keep the wooden spoon, just because
I've got a whole lot on here.
Taryn tends to have a beautiful way about her that really can irritate me. No! Yay. What I have to deal with a twin sister, huh? Okay, so what we're going to do, just mix in the flour. I'm just going to do it quickly here.
Why are you doing it in batches? Why don't you just put all in?
Oh, I just find it's easier to mix and you're less likely to get lumps, but I just also, just easier like that. And you don't tend to get flour coming all over the sides. So what we're going to do is just add in the carrots.
Now I noticed you're not mixing for a long time. You didn't mix it for a long time. So is there a reason, or is it just that it's still going to be mixed a lot?
I just put a little bit of salt in, by the way. No, there's, you know what, some people say, mainly when you're doing muffins, is not to over mix the mixture. I just find when you've mixed it through, you don't really need to overwork it. Some people also say when you overwork the flour, you're overworking the gluten, which tends to create more of a dense product. But I suppose it just depends on how much you beat it and how much you mix it. I usually find it's not much of a problem when you're making cakes. But if you're doing muffins and those kind of things, it can become a problem.
Okay.
Alright, so what I'm doing is just mixing everything in. But I must say with most of my cakes I don't over mix. I tend to do as little as possible with it. So basically the mixture is ready. And what we're going to do is
Wait, I should probably taste it.
Yeah, you can taste it. What do you think? Good. Okay. You can actually even put some orange peel into it, which will also be nice. Zest, orange zest, lemon zest, lime zest.
Show the camera.
Yeah, I've shown them, but I'll show you again. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to make a few muffins because I'm going to have extra mix left over. I can't put it into a cake dish, but I'm going to put it into a loaf dish as well. We buttered the loaf, but I've also lined it with greaseproof paper. Why that is, it's just so it prevents it from sticking at the base. And then Taryn's just going to put some more butter in there.
So I've just got some wax paper, and I just take a bit of butter. I use proper butter. I don't know, can you even use margarine?
No, don't even try. Don't even waste your time. So just use butter. It must be an option.
Just put it in and then
you
talk.
Some people use spray and cook. I'm not the biggest fan of spray and cook. I just feel that stick to the natural produce as best as possible. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put maybe half of the mixture in the loaf tin. So I'll put half of it in the loaf tin. And we've also preheated the oven to about 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to put it in here around about 2/3 full. So it will start to rise briefly a bit later on. And the rest I'll put into the muffin holders. Once again about 2/3 of the way. I crushed a little bit of the seed cranberry mix and an almond and coconut mix. And I'm just going to put some on the top of the muffins.
Won't that burn?
It will burn, but they're not going to be in for long. They should be in for about maybe 25 minutes. So it should allow more time. I just filled the muffin tins up a little bit too much. I don't actually want them that full. So let me just take some out and I can make another batch just over here. So, okay. Alright, and then, can you give me a spatula? New spatula.
Yeah, how come?
I just want to fill up another one if I can. Can you hold that?
I'm just going to lick these things.
I think the spoon, I might need the spoon.
Oh, too late.
Don't worry, I don't think I need it actually. It's amazing when you use a spatula how much more you get out of it.
That's delicious.
That's good. Alright, there we go. So what I do is I just put some of these on. Yeah, I also want it to be a toasted kind of look. And if you find they're getting too toasted, you can just put a, what can you put over it? You can put some tin foil on it or more baking paper on about 20 minutes into it, or 25 minutes into it, and just to stop the burning process, you know.
How long do you bake this for?
That's around about 25, maybe even 30 minutes. We're just going to need to check. This one over here will be around about 45 minutes. Maybe about 45 minutes, I reckon it'll take.
Are we cooking them separately?
No, we're going to cook them together, and then after around about 25-30 minutes, we'll open this up, take it out very quickly. You've got to be careful because when you open the oven, sometimes the cake can actually flatten.
Yeah, so maybe we should do it separately.
I think it'll be fine after 25-30 minutes. We'll be very quick with opening and closing, and we'll be very gentle with opening and closing the oven. Okay. All right.
Good. Okay. Just stick them in, and then we'll be back when they're ready to come out, and for the recipe and for the icing.
Okay. All right, we're back. What we're going to do is we are making cream cheese icing for the cake that's cooled down.
Now, babe.
And what I'm doing at the present moment is just having a bit of a fight with the cream cheese to make it looser, so it's or softer, should I say. And then once it's a bit softer, what we're going to do is we're going to put 60 grams, so we've used 250 grams of cream cheese. We're going to be using about 60 grams of icing sugar. So what I do is I just grate it in here.
Grate it.
Uh,
Sometimes she likes to grate the icing sugar. It's like a chef thing that chefs do.
hey, I'm sieving it. And then I just try and get all the lumps out the grater. The sieve. So what I'll do is I'll leave half of it in there and I'll mix the first half in, just gradually. You'll find sometimes the cream cheese splits. If you're adding a little bit of lemon juice or that, so just be careful when making a cream cheese mix. You can put lemon zest, might be better to stop the splitting. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit more of the icing sugar in. We'll finish all of that off. There we go. Just also be careful when you're using a spoon, pushing too hard on the sieve, because it tends to break the sieve quite easily over time, and your sieve won't last very long. So I'm just mixing it in, getting it nice and smooth. And I want to add a touch of vanilla essence. I like the pure vanilla extracts. Just adding around about 1/4 teaspoon. You can add a little bit more just for flavour. And then Tara's going to add in a fresh lemon, or zest from a fresh lemon. What Tara's going to do?
Well, I remember you once telling me something about zest, and I can't remember what it was, so maybe you can...
just when you're doing it with the zest, don't do it all the way to the pith. Otherwise it makes it quite bitter. So you just add the little bit of the rind, but obviously leaving the zest behind. So we're just going to add in...
What do you mean leaving the zest behind?
No, we're using the zest, but we're wanting to leave the pith, the white behind.
Yeah, okay.
The pith, that's what it is.
You did say that.
I did say that, yes. Alright, so it's pretty much done. You really need good muscles for this.
What do you need to...
So we just need a knife to place on. You can use a spatula if you want. A lot of us just tend to use a knife. That's what we've got at home. Alright, so what we're going to do, it's a lovely consistency. We can just spread it on nicely. And it hasn't split, which is fantastic. So what we're going to do now is just, I usually put one thin layer on first. It tends to pick up all the crumbs. So what we can do also is we sometimes get hot water.
Do you want me to get some?
Yeah, or actually, yeah. Let's get some hot water from the kettle, and then what we'll do is we'll just use a hot knife just to bring it in a little bit more smoothly. I think it's fine. I think it's hot. That's enough. I don't need it too hot.
No, use it.
Come on. So what I'm going to do is I just want to clean the knife so it hasn't got any crumbs on it.
With a clean cloth. Maybe a new one.
Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on here. And it just starts to spread beautifully. And I mean, I quite like giving it a rough look, so I just tend to add, I mean, I know you're going to be adding stuff to it, but if you just give it a rough look, and then you're going to be adding your toppings on. And once again, you can add in any toppings, usually the toppings that you've added in the middle of the cake, or in the cake, should I say, is what you're wanting to look at. And Taryn, do you want to come put the topping together?
Yes, so I love carrot cake, and there's a particular type of carrot cake. I've had it at a few shops around where I live, and two things they always have on them are pepitas and these apricots.
Pepitas, pumpkin seeds, by the way.
Pumpkin seeds. And obviously this cream cheese dressing. So I'm very excited about doing this for the first time. And my chef sister has given me the honors. There we go.
Do you want to cut a piece?
Mm.
Have a look at it?
For sure.
So I'm going to cut a piece of this just to see what it's all about. Oh, look at that.
Will you cut another
Absolutely
middle piece for me? Yeah, like one of those. Yeah, that looks amazing. Hey?
Absolutely beautiful. Look how moist that is, huh? Absolutely stunning.
Yum. Carly Pops?
Yeah.
Do you want to come taste this carrot cake?
Does it have raisins in it?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Doesn't.
Are you going to have?
I'll have, yes.
It's
good. Absolutely fantastic.
That is so fluffy.
It is fluffy.
Wow. That's so good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Cole, come have a taste. It's amazing.
Okay, I'll have a taste.
Absolutely fantastic. I like the apricots in here. Tends to give it a bit of a sour taste to it.
Very happy.
Come on.
Well done. So that's how a chef does it. Enjoy.